everyone. Today, we're going to answer the following questions related to organizational development. Are you ready, Boots?
Yes, I am.
Let's go! Help us to find the answers of the following questions. Let's start to the introduction to OD interventions. We have here Miss MARICEL to answer the first question.
Explain the key principle and practical consideration in designing OD intervention. How you design an OD intervention. There are the 6 key principles of OD. These values include inclusion, respect, authenticity, collaboration, empowerment, and self-awareness. All soft skills, which means that is more about than simply sending such employee on a training course to increase their skills. Designing an OD intervention strategy respect the best solution, outline specific outcomes, and rule of each component. In the entire process, the designing also gives specific points to keep watch for evaluation of the process. How you design an OD intervention. Designing OD intervention requires paying careful attention to the needs and dynamics of the change situation and crafting a change program that will be consistent with the previously described criteria of effective intervention. Understanding the imperative for change and the environment, understanding of the business process, workflows, rules and responsibilities, volumes of work, activity, analysis, and research.
Go, Nightlight! Go! Go! Yay!
Now let's move to the OD practices, strategic interventions. We have here Mr. Christian to answer the 2 questions.
Hola! I will discuss to you right now on how do I transform an organization, and I will give some examples. So organizational transformation is on the minds of many business leaders. Some managers are always looking for opportunities to increase their organizational effectiveness and strengthen their company culture. This effort is especially critical in times of change like we have experienced as a result of the pandemic. Organizational transformation strategies can provide continuity and opportunity to your business. Any type of transformation affects, first and foremost, your employees. That's why HR has an imperative role in the process. For example, an organization may find that it has developed a reputation for high employee turnover due to unmanageable work demands. Instead of allowing this pattern to continue, the leadership team and human resources decide to initiate an organizational transformation process that includes a complete overhaul of all job roles and new technology to streamline tasks. We all know that human resources has a significant role in maintaining clarity, communicating leaders, and also managing AI systems. So how are we going to help them? We must consider that we need to help promote a positive transformations. So let's have a clear vision and goals. Also, holistic management of change. And considering that we need to create a strategy and a plan, and also prioritization, and involving leadership and stakeholders. Also, we need to communicate the benefits of the transformation. Next is consistent leadership alignment and being employee-centric in the transformation process. It leads to measuring progress and creating a high-performance culture. If we done it right, organizational transformation leads to better performance and improved company culture. However, the organizational transformation process can be long and complex, and that's why businesses need to break it down into smaller increments. set goals, and have a clear vision and strategy to succeed while also focusing on their employees. Thank you. Let us tackle the next question. It says that explain the culture building process and give an example. So culture increases loyalty among employees, and culture gives employees a driving goal and purpose of what they do. It connects your leadership team with the rest of the employees and binds them with a set of shared beliefs. Your employees want to feel like they are contributing to something larger than themselves. An example of this is building a positive company culture. Company culture is an integral part of business. It affects nearly every aspect of the company, from recruiting top talent to improving employee satisfaction. It's the backbone of a happy workforce. Without a positive corporate culture, many employees will struggle to find the real value in their work. And this leads to a variety of negative consequences for your bottom line. It involves team building. Team building creates a strong team for performing bonds and connections. Another example is cultural building activities that can highlight your values and help team members identify with your company mission. This increased connection might even help contribute to a more positive work, what their values are, and how much they value employees. This is important for a company for several reasons. First, create personal connections. Next is establish company ethics and values. Another thing is it helps to ease stress. And also, it shows change the work environment and the care for your employees. Increase positivity, and by this, we must consider that the goal of culture building is to change the work environment for all members through these activities. Teams and team building exercises may focus on a specific department or group of people, while culture building might include employees across an organization. And that will be all. Thank you.
Library to light up the night. Go night light, go, go, yay!
Hey Dora, can we proceed to the next? Yes, of course, and let's discover together. Now we will be answering the rest of the questions from the different topic. Let's take a look. We have here Miss Arianne to answer the question related of techno-structural interventions and human resource management intervention.
The first question is, how can techno-structural intervention create holistic impact in the Filipino organization, and cite one example. Okay, so here, techno-structural intervention creates holistic impact in the organization, particularly in the Filipino organization, in a way that it enhances the organizational effectiveness and productivity through the different improvement processes as whole, including the online organization. So instead of worrying during COVID-19 pandemic, some Filipino organizations use this intervention, creating effects upon introducing new technologies and applying new structures that can provide immediate solution. We can see that this intervention gives guidance to Filipino organizations in terms of how tasks are divided to be completed and how to overcome our natural resistance to change. However, if we look back its overall effect, we can determine that it has a negative impact on the employees, despite of improving the organizational profitability, communication, and productivity, because there are cases that organization needs to adjust for the betterment. Just like downsizing, some Filipino employees got eliminated, which totally affect their welfare, resulting into increase the Philippine unemployment rate. So the college department in Orso are the best example of this. which already adopted new learning methods caused by pandemic. Some have been transferred to the other department, and the functions and roles have been redesigned. So they are divided into units to carry out their responsibilities while introducing new structures and technologies for conducting webinar and virtual classes rather than having an actual program. So in Norso, we have Cite department, CBE department, Cite department, and more. So they are responsible for an individual's career development and provide guidance to their students for them to be productive. So however, when it comes to downsizing, Norso G is less relatable because they require more personnel. But when we look at the Filipinos organizations, the other Filipino organizations, we can see that they eliminated employees to renew their organizational strategies because they start introducing high technologies to perform tasks resulting in fewer jobs. Let's proceed to the second question. What differentiates human resource management function from HRM intervention? Okay, so here, dealing only with people-related issues such as compensation, hiring, benefits, and so on differentiates human resource management from the HRM intervention. We can even conclude that HRM function is more concerned with employment, motivation, and job satisfaction in order to keep a workforce in an organization for success. But if we talk about HRM intervention, it focuses on improving the overall performance and efficiency for each member. And this includes the performance management, developing talent, wellness intervention, and the diversity intervention. And as a result, this is more in a manager-employee interaction, which also focuses on individuals' development, aiming to reward and support people in the workplace.
We also have Miss Evangelica to answer the question related to human process interventions and the evaluation and sustainability.
Here's the first question. First, what are the cultural realities that must be considered when conducting the mentioned intervention in the Philippines? So there are 4 realities that can be considered in conducting the human process intervention in the Philippines. These are the team building, process consultation, intergroup team building, and their conflict resolution. When we say team building, it is focused on the work or teams that are composed of members who work interdependently to accomplish the task. Second, process consultation is to help people or group help themselves by ensuring that they are not only receive help or assistance but also to gain skills and knowledge necessary to conduct the diagnosis. Third, intergroup team building. It involves the interaction as the collective limits. And lastly, the conflict resolution seeks to enhance the activity and capacity of the aggrieved party to resolve organizational conflict peacefully. We'll proceed to the second question. How can leaders affect the sustainability of efforts of an organization? Here's the answer. Leader has a cause-direct effect of relationships upon organization sustainability and their success. They gently influence organizational sustainability efforts by serving as a vital indicators of employees' belief. They influence those around them by demonstrating their capabilities and providing benefits to organizations in order to maintain sustainability efforts. Thus, the leader has a direct cause and effects relationship on the success of organization. They shape institutional strategies, including their execution and effectiveness. Their ability will determine how the organization proceeds and sustains the effort. Just like when the leader is active, then the member is also productive. When the leader is confident and holds the positive characteristic, the organization will be ready for sustainability challenges. And yes, leaders adopting sustainability practices are similar to another effective leaders, and they yet also have additional capacity and mindset to include a wider expanses of stakeholders and different mindset as the purpose of organizations. Thank you.
Go Nightlight, go, go, yay!
Now we have Miss ELMALINE to answer the question related to OD practitioner competencies and educational and leadership in OD.
Hello everyone. So, the first question is, describe the concept of the use of self in OD practice. Discuss how understanding of this concept is critical in OD practice. The concept of the use of self in OD emphasizes how values, capabilities, and experience of practitioners shape the teacher and the quality of one's work. Organizational development is a critical and science-based process that helps organizations build their capacity to change and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structures, and processes. The second question. Give an example of transactional leader. But before that, let's know first what is the meaning of transactional leader. It is someone who values structure, which involves motivating and directing followers primarily through appealing their own self-interest. Transactional leader is considered as a short-term goal only. There are a lot of examples which shows a transactional leadership in an organization. A good example of transactional leadership is embodied in athletic coaches. The coach shows leadership among his or her players. In this case, coaches of athletic teams motivate their followers by promoting the reward of winning the game. They instill such a high level of commitment that their players should take risk, pain, and injury to obtain the results which the coach asks for.
Donut light, go, go, yeah!
Not but not the least, we have here Mr. John Harry to continue answering the last two questions related again to leadership and OD.
Question number 2. Give an example of transformational leader. The main goal of transformational leader is to create a self-sustaining system of individuals. Example of these are the educators. Teachers place a high value on creating community bonds, encouraging both students and educators to greater levels of achievement. It accelerated some critical changes to how they approach teaching and learning. Even as pandemic exacerbated the impact of the inequities of race, disabilities, and income on learning outcomes, but students trying to help the adaptation of having changes of our environment. Question number 3. If you were to choose, what type of leadership will you use in your organization? Explain why. Among the two types of leadership, I am preferred of transformational leadership. Why? Because it's a type of leadership where it doesn't show selfishness. In our organization, the leader's goal focuses on organizational development and employment development. Not all leaders' decisions must be followed, but also need to hear the sides of employees. And this transformational leadership is for long-term goals.
Now, we already heard all the answers. We hope that you understand it. Yes, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hooray! We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Woo! Hooray! We did it!
Thanks for